writing books can be a great side gig, a side hustle, even turn into like a full-time profession. And really two big reasons for that. One, you could write books and because you're a writer or you want to be an author, and you could write books and sell books, just like many authors do. And that's your main line of business, is you sell books. But in addition to that, or as an alternative to that, you could also use books that maybe help you sell your main product that you sell. So for example, I sell online courses, usually around investing, that kind of stuff, leadership, business as well. So I could write books around that I could either sell on Amazon real inexpensively. They could be short read books, less than like 200 pages or 100 pages. They could be real short, or use them as a free loss leader. Like, hey, if you sign up for my dividend investing course, I will give you this free short book on dividend investing. So books can be used as just your primary source of income, or as a way to get a little supplemental income by selling on Amazon a small cheap book, or just use it to give away for free, to drive people to your website and get to know you, and maybe sign up for your bigger products and services you offer. It's very common, like with coaches and stuff. They'll have maybe a book or something, then people feel comfortable reading the book, and they'll want to engage them for a more expensive coaching type thing. So we're going to look at how we can use ChatGPT to make a world of difference with books. I've always wanted to write books and things like that, especially a lot of books, more on that alternative side where I wanted to use it to help promote my courses, but that seems real daunting, just getting it all started, outline, writing it, just typing it. You can tell I'm not the greatest typer in the world, all that. And you can use things like speech to text and all that, but still just trying to get it all out there can be daunting. And I'm going to show you how ChatGPT can make a real difference. So we're going to look at nonfiction books in this lesson. Then we got coming up, you can actually write fiction books, or help you. ChatGPT can help you write fiction books and even children's books, and get you kind of thinking of that. So let's get started and take a look at how we can write a nonfiction book with ChatGPT, and we'll walk you right through an example, then adapt it to your situation. Okay, I'm over here at ChatGPT, and let's pretend that I am a life coach, right? So my main business is I help people with work-life balance. In fact, maybe that's what I really do, is help people with stress and advise them with their career and advise them, in their personal life or whatever. I don't do that. I do investing, but I thought, doing a life coach example might be more interesting to folks than maybe doing dividend investing. That's interesting too. But let's do it as a life coach, because it's more easily accessible. So let's say I want to write a book on work-life balance. Right? So that's a big topic. How do I narrow that down? How do I start just getting started with such a big topic? And how can ChatGPT help me? So let's first try to do an outline. Some people actually start with titles. I would recommend just starting with an outline. And you can spend days trying to really figure out the perfect outline, but ChatGPT can really help us get started with that. So we could say, outline a book on work-life balance. Okay, so this is just outlining a book. I didn't even ask it, please. Let's see what it does. So right now it's laying out an outline for a book. And then I can take that outline and adapt it. Maybe I specialize in the career part, so I want to emphasize that part more. If somebody else is really into meditation or yoga or Tai Chi or whatever it might be, they can emphasize those parts and basically take this outline that's being done and then adapt it. So as you can see here, this is a pretty nice outline, right? We've got an introduction, what's the definition of work-life balance, the importance of it, look at what's in imbalances, signs that you might be in balance, strategies for improving balance, making changes, maintaining balance, all that, right? And in here we might intersperse stuff like it's great to work with a coach one-on-one. They can really make a difference if you're stuck, that kind of stuff when we actually start writing it. So this is a nice outline, and I can add things to it, or I could say, could you add a chapter meditation? I'm just saying add a chapter, right? So this looks good. Could we add a chapter? Sure, here's an initial chapter on meditation, right? And it gives me this little short thing of meditation. Maybe I could say yoga, maybe I could say all stuff. So I don't have to try to now start doing this by hand. I can have it kind of do this. And this actually got in real detail on that chapter because I was asking for specifically on meditation. I think if I asked it to, let's say, could you expand on chapter 2, then I would get kind of sub-outlines to my outline, right? So chapter 2 was identifying imbalances, signs of work-life imbalance, and assessing the impact of imbalance in your personal and professional life. That's what we've got so far. That's pretty, broad. So we want to start broad and narrow it down. So now let's see if ChatGPT can build this out a little bit more, expand I'm going to say the outline for chapter 2. And so here it's going to take chapter 2, we had identify imbalances, and now it's expanding out on that. And it gives us the 2 here, but it's giving us some more and a little bit more sub things in there too, including like the impact on your physical, mental health, relationships, and career advancement. So now you can start, weaving in things like when you're actually writing, like, talking about clients, not naming your clients, but you can talk about clients who struggled with their relationships because they were so much at work and their work-life balance was out of whack or whatever, right? So you can see how this is now building out my outline even further. Now let's get crazy, right? So we've got identifying imbalances. Now I could say, could you write in detail the chapter? Let's we could write the detail. I'm going to say chapter 2. All right. So now I'm asking it to write that, right? And it's going to actually write and more expand it and really get into more of a writing style. See, where before it's more outline, bullet pointy, now it's getting into more writing. In today's fast-paced society, it can become overwhelming, signs of work-life imbalance, all that. And it'll keep going and going and going to do that, right? So now we're expanding, we're actually having an effect write it for us. Now again, this is not plagiarism, it's not copying somebody else's website, it's not copying something else, it's artificial intelligence. So it's pulling from sources that have been put into it, all the different types of things that OpenAI, the maker of ChatGPT, have done, but it's not crawling the web to steal from somebody else or anything like that. So here you're understanding it, and it's really writing out a nice little chapter. Now, if I was to write a really long, full book, I would certainly want to expand on this a great deal and all these things. But if I'm looking for maybe a short little book to give away, I can add some examples to this, maybe paraphrase some things, rewrite this a little bit for the whole book. And now I've got a nice, maybe a 100 to 200 page free giveaway with the whole intent is here's my free giveaway because I want to get your email address and start promoting my my coaching services. So you can see this wrote a really nice long thing. I've done this with some other stuff too. And by the way, one thing you want to watch for is that sometimes they'll be real similar. Like here I wrote for chapter 2, and it wrote in conclusion, right? Then when I did the same thing, let's say for a chapter, other chapters and books I was kind of playing around with, it ended always the same, in conclusion, in conclusion, in conclusion. So you'd want to watch that and you'd want to rewrite that. You don't want to just use it as is. All right, so this is pretty good, right? So now I've got this, I can start adding to it, and I've basically gone from broad to narrow is what I'm trying to do. Broad outline, work-life balance, gets me a nice outline, then I start getting more detail in the outline, and then I start have that detailed outline be basically broken up into something more more detail, even more detail, and in more of a writing style, right? This is more writing versus bullets, right? So now we need a couple other things, and you can see how this is going. So let's say I need a title for my book, right? So I got this title, and because I got this things I've been writing, and it's all contained in the chat here. You can see on the left side, work-life balance book. These are the different things I've been working on, like a ChatGPT Psyche course, or Lost Kitten Adventure, that's coming up, which is our children's book. You're looking forward to that. I've been working on that. So here we have our book. Now we need a title and we need a description. So let's see if we can get a title from this. So we could say, can you please give me 10 title options? All right, so now it'll take what our conversation is going, because we're contained in this. If I was writing about dividend investing, it would talk about dividend investing, but we're not. We're talking about work-life balance. And now it's giving me some titles that I could possibly use. I could use those. I could adapt those. Different things. I mean, I don't know. It depends what you like. Here's the art of work-life balance, working smarter, live better. Real good, nice titles that you have to choose from, right? Finding balance, all this kind of stuff. And so let's say I wanted the title to be more oriented towards professional women, let's say, for example. Can you give me 10 more, but focused on, I'll say, professional women who work, let's say, focused on lawyers who are women. Okay, so now I'm getting real detailed, right? Now I'm really trying to target a subset with my title, and then in my book, I could have my book outlined all that way, but let's say I'm looking for titles that might be specific to women lawyers. And it says here, look at this one, balancing the scale, strategies for women lawyers. You know, maybe you don't like the word woman, maybe you want to have a different thing, or just leave woman out. You could do whatever you wanted. Just balancing the scale, strategies for lawyers would be fine. The working one's guide, and it goes on, the working mother's guide to law, strategies for balancing career and family, so I might rework that, but the idea is if I was targeting working mothers who are lawyers and trying to balance all that stress, you can make it be more about single mothers. If I'm really trying to target that audience, I can get real niche, and now my book could be almost a more universal book, or I could write my book to be actually match this title from the ground up, and then I have some titles that could fit that. Right now, what I was first showing was really kind of broad, and then we would want to narrow that down if we wanted to kind of go this route, okay? So you can see you can really get a lot of great ideas, and beyond the briefcase, enhancing balance as a woman lawyer. I'm not sure briefcases anymore, but maybe you'd use like beyond the backpack, I don't know. Beyond the Gucci bag, who knows? Okay, so so we now have some nice titles. Now we need a description, right? So let's say, could you write a description for the book? Because the title and the cover is what gets attention. Description is what helps convert the sale. So that's description is real important. You know, the short thing you might read on the back of a book or something like that. Say, oh, should I look closer? Description for this book. Now, because I've given us stuff about women and lawyers and all that, the description might be oriented towards that, or it might go back to my outline and really more focus on that. So yeah, it looks like it's, oh no, it's going female lawyer. So this is because I gave it that, you know, might want to, you know, if I didn't want that, I'd have to tell it not to, not to be focused on that. But here, you can see, like in a profession as demanding as law, it can be challenging for a woman to find balance between work and personal life, right? Comprehensive guide, specific to lawyers, wide range of topics, time management, setting boundaries, communicating, how to identify signs of work-life balance, you know. One of the key aspects is that it is specifically tailored to the needs of women lawyers, right? So there you go, and you can rewrite this if you want, but you can see, you know, the book aims to empower women lawyers to take control of their lives and create a balance that works for them, filled with real-life examples. Now, of course, you'd want to rewrite your description. If you don't have a single example in your book, you would want to take that out. But if you're heavy on examples, maybe you would want that, right? So this is a nice little description here. What if I said, if I want, could you write a description for this book? And I'll show you how you can really, you can see how I'm targeting a persona. Now I'm targeting women lawyers, professional women lawyers who could be working mothers, for example. I could get that detail. But I could say, could you write a description for this book? And I could have it, you know, in a type of tone, in a friendly tone from the author who is also a lawyer. All right, so I'm going to fix this up, but you can see the thing is we're going to try to get more friendly with this description, that we're going to try to see if it'll tell us more about the lawyer or the author, the person writing the book. Now, obviously not me, not a woman or a lawyer. I did score in the top 10% in the law school admissions. I will admit that. Business called me away though. But anyways, the long story of that. So what we were looking to hope to get from here is something that's going to target our audience, but also show a connection. You know, the whole purpose of the book is to try to get more consulting or something like that, or coaching. I'll hit enter and we'll see what it does here. You know, trying to target and niche down even more. Niche, 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 right? So here's a possible description. Hey there, hey there. I'm so excited to introduce you to my new book, Balancing the Scale, Strategies for Women Lawyers. As a fellow lawyer, I know firsthand how challenging it can be to find balance between work and personal life. So right there, that's a nice opening sentence that someone who is that target niche, that target person say, oh, this person gets me. She is like me. She is me. But she's succeeding. She can balance her work and life, and she had the time to even write a book. Oh my goodness. Oh, she does coaching too? I might be interested because I'm just getting stressed out of my mind. By the way, many attorneys, certainly I have a reputation for making quite a bit of money, or make money that might be able to afford coaching as well too. So this is even getting better. And this is just popping off my head. So I didn't come in with a plan on any of this at all, other than writing a work-life balance book. That's what I came to this lesson with. That was it. And this is what kind of spit out here. If you come in with even better questions or a better plan, you'll keep getting even better results than this, but this is pretty good. All right, so there you have it. Some ideas around how ChatGPT can help outline your book, build out titles for you, give you a nice description. You can even ask it to put together like Facebook ads or other ads. We have a whole lesson around social media marketing, but since we're here for fun, I could say, could you create a Facebook ad for this book? Okay. And there it is. See, I mean, amazingly fast, right? And so here's your little Facebook ad, balancing the scales, and this is this is official Facebook page. So this would be the page for it as opposed to like an ad, but this is a page. But you just have to yeah, see, I said, could you create a Facebook for this book? That was terrible. See, ChatGPT can only do what you give it, right? So I'm going to say I did that wrong. So I'm going to, because I forgot the key word there, which was add. Let's do the same thing. But there I got a nice Facebook page for the book. You'd want that too. But let's say add and see how that makes it different, right? For this book, right? Attention all women lawyers, are you struggling to find balance? And then I'll write out the Facebook ad for me, and I could have it regenerate. I could try different ways. I could do a lot of different things and then add in images and all that too. So there, that was just for fun. We'll get more of that coming up. So there's a way to write your nonfiction book. We've got fiction book and children's book coming up here, but those parts are going to be very similar, but they're interesting because it's just a little bit different because it's a fiction and a children's book. So if it's kind of interesting to take a view of those two, but the concept is the same. Start broad. I would recommend start broad, narrow down, work in titles and descriptions, and then follow it up with advertising and keep it all in the same chat because then it's building on itself. It's learning, it's building as you go. All right. With that, go write your nonfiction book. I'm excited. I think I'm going to go write a book.